Good morning, guys. How are you? Happy Wednesday. Welcome to the live stream. We are streaming on Facebook and on LinkedIn. Welcome to Thoughts of a Maven. I am Dion Watts Williams. If you are joining me for the first time, welcome. And this is a very interactive live stream. Okay, so I want to hear from you guys in the chat. If you are a newbie, put hashtag newbie, okay, and shout out where you are watching from, what part of the world, what part of the country, if you're in the States. But yes, I am here every single Wednesday at 10 a.m. Eastern to talk about all things personal branding, positioning, and of course, my favorite thing, LinkedIn, and a little bit of mindset work, right? Because none of that means anything in our career and in our business if our confidence isn't up to par, if we haven't exercised that muscle and really overcome imposter syndrome. Okay, so that's what we do here at Thoughts of a Maven. So, yeah, we're going to talk about, yes, the importance of planning. But particularly as it relates to your next level in your career and in your business. Okay, so we're going to talk about this. Most women, right, if you are what they call a high achiever, if you're accomplished, like you're a pretty good planner, right? I think it's safe to say if you're, climbing the corporate ladder, if you're an entrepreneur, like that is a gift that a lot of us women really we just have a knack for it, right? Your calendar is full, your goals are written down, right? Maybe your priorities are color coded, tracked, and revisited, but still something feels off, right? Not necessarily chaotic or disorganized, but just a quiet misalignment, right? And I want to talk to the woman who has the receipts, you've mastered the rooms, but somehow you're shrinking back, right? You are an excellent planner, but something still feels off. Okay, that tension is a signal, okay? Because traditional planning is designed, I believe, to manage tasks, but your next level, the thing that you want to accomplish this year in your business and in your career requires alignment. Okay, so I really want to talk about what's really happening there and what is required for you to plan and prepare for your next level. Okay, guys, good morning. Thanks for joining the live stream. We are streaming on LinkedIn and on Facebook talking about planning for your brand, for your career, your next career move, your next business move, but it's a different type of planning that's required, okay? And as always, if you guys have questions or comments, I want to hear from you. And if you're catching this on the replay, use hashtag replay with your question or comment. So here's what's really happening if you seem to be stuck in neutral, right? You're managing tasks, you plan, but there's no forward motion, okay? The first thing that's happening is that you're planning the activity, but not direction, right? You are busy, you are productive and reliable, but without a clear directional anchor, your effort is going to feel scattered, right? So, yeah, it's like being on a hamster wheel, right? Your meetings are multiplying, projects are stacking up, and the visibility opportunities show up that sound good on paper, but they don't actually move you closer to where you want to go. And I talk about alignment all the time and how important it is to be aware of what opportunities are for you. And it's okay to say no, thank you. Okay. So you are planning the activities that are keeping you occupied, but when you plan the direction for your brand, it's going to keep you intentional. And at this level, it's not about what can I fit in, but what actually belongs in my sphere of influence. Okay. Guys, good morning. Welcome to the live stream. Welcome to Thoughts of a Maven. We are talking about your next level for your brand, for your business, for your career, your positioning, and what kind of planning is required to meet you at that moment. Okay. Number two is that your goals aren't grounded in your current reality. Okay. A lot of high achievers, accomplished women are still planning from an old version of themselves. I always tell my clients, you should dream plan, write, show up as the version of you that you're striving for, right? We're not planning from old capacity, old energy, or old assumptions of what they should be able to handle. Okay. Growth changes everything, right? Plans that don't account for who you are now lead to burnout and resentment and constant self negotiation. And so, again, when people talk about your big, scary, hairy goals, it shouldn't be based on last year or even how you feel right now. It should actually stretch you. Okay, so you have to be able to reassess again what those goals are, where they're coming from. Okay, and so your planning must reflect your current responsibilities, your boundaries, hello, your priorities, and not who you were, 3, 4, 5 promotions ago. All right. Number 3, you are reacting instead of designing, right? I cannot tell you how many people, guys, will email me, text me, call me, Dion, this opportunity came about and now I got to get ready for it. We are not in the process of doing things last minute. It's about strategic intention. Okay. And so when you look at your calendar and your to do list, and they're driven by requests and invitations and expectations, like your vision for your brand and where you want to go is going to get diluted. And so you begin to say yes, right? Because it feels aligned enough, and you might pivot because an opportunity seems too good to ignore, right? Maybe you're adjusting because other people's urgency becomes yours. But over time, when you do those little things, your plan now becomes reactive instead of proactive. And so when you are intentionally planning, you are shifting from responding to life. You are designing and being intentional about how you're going to spend your time, right? So stop asking yourself, and I've had to say this to people, like, I'm sorry, this looks like a okay, maybe a good opportunity, but I'm not going to just try to make it fit in, right? If it's not aligned. So you don't have to, and I get it because as women, we are nurturers and we want to help and we just have a good heart. But sometimes that can actually do us more harm than good, right? So you need to start asking yourself, does this opportunity belong in the season that I am building? Okay. Guys, good morning. Welcome to the live stream. We are talking about why your next level in your career, business, your brand, your positioning requires a different level of planning. Okay. Another thing that you're doing is that you're planning in isolation, right? Most women do their planning in the cracks of their day, like, oh, between meetings, late at night. That's fine. Like, I get it. If you're a multifaceted woman, if you're wearing many hats, I personally, once in a while, will say, you know what, I'm going to stay up a little bit later tonight. But my planning is intentional, right? We are juggling a lot of things mentally, but there's no real margin to think, reflect, or to just sit with your thoughts and your ideas. And so without the space to think strategically, everything's going to feel urgent. And urgency crowds out clarity. Okay. So to be in the space of alignment, you're going to need room. You need to carve out time, ladies, in your schedule, on your calendar, right? For me, it's Friday. I don't take calls on Friday for my 9 to 5, for my business. Typically, I don't do meetings on Fridays because that is my intentional time to think about my next move and to make the steps, right? To plan the steps, right? Sometimes you just need a space to think and not try to backfill it. Okay. So you need room to name like what's no longer working. You need room to be honest about what you want next and room to plan beyond survival. Okay. A lot of us are hand to mouth in our careers and in our businesses. And guys, intention goes such a long way. It goes such a long way. Number 5, you've outgrown surface level goal setting, right? And y'all know I love a good SMART goal. I'm a strategic planner by nature. Um, but that's the surface, right? That's the surface of it. Your goals now, right? You've got your vision board, you've got your SMART goals, but now your goals have to really align with your values, your energy, your identity, and the life that you actually want to live. And so planning at this level isn't about doing more. It's about doing what fits and also being okay with saying, I'm going to release what doesn't fit with my values right now. Right? Because success that costs you your peace, your health, or your sense of self, that's not success, right? We need to redefine individually what success looks like. So, yeah, start out with your vision boards, right? Your SMART goals, love it. But really, from a holistic perspective, how does that feel? How does that align with where you see yourself going? Okay, guys, good morning. Welcome to the live stream. We are talking about your next level planning and why that differs from your average way to go about planning for your career moves, your next business phase or season, and your positioning. So you have to go back up to the top if you're just joining in because we just covered 5 ways that you need to shift in your planning. Listen, planning is not about control, okay? It is really about clarity. And when planning is aligned, things will begin to shift, right? It's going to be easier for you to make decisions. Your boundaries are going to feel cleaner, right? And momentum is going to feel sustainable. And that's the kind of recalibration that most women don't realize they're craving until they finally experience it. And so I actually created this space called Maven Day. This is the work that we do at Maven Day. Maven Day is a 4-hour virtual brand lab for the accomplished, high achieving woman who says, you know what? No more hustle planning, right? No more pressure filled goal setting. In this space, in just 4 hours, we are going to be intentional about what feels aligned for your brand for this year. Okay, there's a level of aligned planning that will reflect who you are now and where you're actually going because your next level doesn't need more effort, right? And I feel like every new year, it's like, oh, I need to do more. You don't need to do more. You need to master what you already have. You need a clearer, stronger foundation, and that's the work we do at Maven Day. So, yes, this is where we map out where you're going, who you're called to serve in the marketplace, whether you're a 9 to 5 or a corporate. Well, 9 to 5 is a corporate climber, but an entrepreneur, a speaker, maybe you're doing a little bit of both. And you're going to tap into how your personal brand can open the right doors, attract the right opportunities, and you're going to get real time hot seat coaching and feedback from me on your brand strategy, right? We're going to do your elevator pitch, your content pillars, like thought leadership. You are a thought leader, you are an expert. And there's a way that you can show up online and offline that really demonstrates that and makes you the go to expert for your industry. You're also going to get a 90-day brand action roadmap that you're going to create with me and that you'll be able to use to guide your steps throughout the year. This is all about intention, and you get a 30-day replay access to the training that you can revisit at your own pace. If you know that you're kind of all over the place, that your next level, the dream, the vision that you have for your business, for your career requires something a little bit different, Maven Day is the space for you. And we just have a good time. So if you're ready to put strategy behind all that dopeness, all that brilliance, the thing that only you can do so well, I want you going over to workwithdion.com/Maven Day and grab your ticket. This is happening on February 21st. And no, I do not know when I'm going to offer Maven Day again. I actually offered Maven Day in November, right? The goal here is to really give people the tools, the framework that they can reapply time and time again. Once you do this Maven Day, you're going to be able to revisit these tools, the worksheets, all the down. Like I'm gonna give you the full shebang. And so when 2027 comes, you are ready to like apply that same framework for your professional and business goals. So going over to Maven Day, I'm sorry, to workwithdion.com/Maven Day. Okay. And I want to see you in the Zoom room. And as always, if you guys have any questions, feel free to message me here on LinkedIn, on Facebook, shoot me a DM. I'm also on Instagram and TikTok, or going over to workwithdion.com to learn more about how I can help you own your brilliance and make it visible. Because remember, there is someone out there who can't tap into their next level until you have mastered yours. Okay. But keep up the brilliance, guys, and I will see you next week for Thoughts of a Maven. Take care.